undisputed, world champion, Prenga, Fury. I want it all. And I'm looking at the big picture. Bring it all.
When you go into that Prenga fight, is it like, because
I want to hurt Prenga.
Yeah.
I want to hurt him, yeah, definitely.
Taking a lot of emotion out in that fight? And is there an element where it's like...
It's not personal.
No, of course, but he did... See, Fury got 12 rounds against Makhmudov.
Yeah.
Now, you had the Jake Paul fight, which was, listen, it was still rounds, whatever way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
But is it okay to go in and destroy this guy in 1 or 2 rounds?
100%.
Yeah?
If I can, man, I got...
Because we said that, didn't we? Remember we spoke after the Dubois Wardley?
Anthony Joshua has sent a strong warning to Kristian Prenga and made it clear that Tyson Fury is the next big target.
In these fights, if you ever get the opportunity to get it over early, because otherwise you're going to end up in those kind of fights.
Yeah, you've got to take him out. You got the right mindset, the know-how, and have full belief in yourself. So what it is with Prenga, why I say I want to hurt him, is nothing to do with him, it's just me. It's just I believe in myself and I know I can do it, and I want to prove to myself I'm a serious wrecking machine. I've got dynamite in both hands and I want to punch with bad intention.
Do you feel pressure in that fight, even though you're obviously a big favourite in the fight? Because of what's to come, or you just put the pressure on yourself?
Everything, pressure on the fight, on myself. I want to perform, I want to win, I want to fight.
His promoter Eddie Hearn believes Kristian Prenga will face reality on fight night, and that all of his pre-fight confidence and mind games will disappear.
Always going to raise their game. Like for this guy 100%. Now, all of a sudden, Prenga's looking at it going, oh my God, I beat Joshua. And for them, see, these guys, they all get confidence. It's like this fake confidence. And listen, I'll do it sometimes with a fighter. And it's not, you're not pumping someone with bullshit. You're just looking for, well, you know, he hasn't really boxed. You know, he had the crash, he had this, he's got the pressure of the Fury fight, all of this stuff. You can just go in there and just, with no pressure, and do your thing. But you know, listen, this guy's getting paid well. He beats you. He's changed his life forever. And that's because you're a target. It's not.
I am a target.
You know, these fights are never easy.
But that's why I've got to work like I am a target now. I can't just work in an ordinary capacity and live off of my past achievements.
Watching Tyson Fury's recent fight against Arslanbek Makhmudov from ringside, Joshua claims he spotted major flaws he fully intends to exploit on fight night.
I'm confident in myself. Do you know what it is, Ed? What I saw with Fury, it's easy to say sitting outside, but I can see ways to beat Fury. But what it is, I'm not banking on Fury, whether he's going to be the best or his worst for me to win. I'm just confident in myself that I can beat Fury, whether he's at his best or at his worst. I just know with the work that I'm doing, I'll beat Fury. If that makes sense. I'm not worrying about his performance at Tottenham. I'm not worrying about how many warm-up fights he has, how good he's looking. I'm just confident in me turning up, being the man across the ring and doing exactly what I know I'm going to do to him. That's what I'm confident in.
After watching Tyson Fury's recent fight against Arslanbek Makhmudov from ringside, Joshua believes he saw weaknesses that he plans to take advantage of.
Ironic, Paul, isn't it? I mean, I look at it and say Turkey gets everyone playing against one another, creates a big load of disruption, and then says, I'm going to bring peace talks to the fore. I mean, what do you expect to come out of that sort of conversation? Just everyone gets a few more quid?
I think ultimately that's what it looks like, doesn't it, from the inside out, shall we say, rather than the outside in. From the outside in, what we're seeing is the best fights happening and these promoters finally working together. But now there's been a little bit of a bomb dropped in with Dana White, and I'm not saying he's the disruptor, it's this system and the model that he has that's going to be disrupted, and the fact that he's signing fighters that were with previous organisations like Conor Benn, but as you just said yourself, you know,
things behind the scenes have become very complicated, and boxing expert Simon Jordan believes Turki Alshik is the person creating most of the confusion.
With a bit more nuance. You know, you look back to when Bruno fought Lennox Lewis for the world title, to some extent, well, not to some extent, that was in a British ring. The scale of this fight is judged or challenged by the economics that the fighters want. We know that we can get 90,000 fans into Wembley Stadium, 100,000 if they'll take it, to watch Fury versus Joshua. If you had a stadium in the UK that had 150,000 fans, they would fill it to watch this particular fight because it's a crossover fight. The problem is gates inside stadiums don't pay the bills that the fighters will want. If you kind of want 50, 60, 70 million a fighter, which is what we're being suggested these fighters want, then you've got to factor in not the gate receipts, but where best that the person that's putting the money up wants to fight. So you've got to ask yourself, where does Turkey...
The location of the fight is still uncertain, and many people believe the final decision now depends on Turki Alshik.
Does he want this fight? Because he's the money in the room. He's the one that's creating the outcome. Because if Frank and Eddie are doing it, it has a certain scale, and they're not going to break the budget economically just to make a fight happen for Tyson Fury and for Anthony Joshua. My view is that wherever Turkey decides, despite Eddie's load of old about a contract that determines where it's going to be, who determines where it's going to be is Turki Al-Sheikh and what he wants. Now, if he thinks there's a better audience for him to get some blowback for what he's doing with TKO in America, then he'll put it in America. If he thinks it's better for Riyadh season to keep the spotlight on what's happening in that part of the world, he'll put it in the Middle East. If he thinks somehow that he owes a debt to British boxing and by doing this, he creates an...
Eddie Hearn admits that Turki Al-Sheikh controls the money and will make the final decision on this huge heavyweight fight. Even so, Hearn still wants to bring the fight to the United Kingdom. He also points to the successful Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn event as proof that Britain can host another massive fight.
So he's got to find a way to make it work-ish. You know, we know that it's a blockbuster event in terms of its numbers. I would love to see this fight in the UK, you know, and I think he would too. So if there's a way for it to be done, I think that would be everybody's preference.
And doing it in Cardiff, the Principality Stadium with the roof, does that make sense?
You know, I mean, look, we did Ben Eubank in November.
Yep.
It's fine. I mean, look, you are playing a little bit of roulette, but Millennium Stadium is a tremendous venue, you know. Like I said, there's a bill to be paid, and you got to find a way to pay it. You know, we know that that's...
As the situation continues to develop, Frank Warren has shared his own prediction for when Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua could finally meet, giving a different timeline from other promoters and officials.
Sometime, I think, in October by the looks of it. So that's really where we're at. And it's good, you know, it's a great fight. Everybody's been waiting for it, and we're going to see it at long last.
How the timing's going to work, Frank? You've got Joshua out in July, which might conflict Moses Atoma, which does, doesn't it, on Moses Atoma's day, which creates a bit of a challenge for you. But also, how is it going to play out with Joshua fighting at the end of July and then potentially 2 months later being in against Fury? Is there going to need to be an extension on that, or Fury having another fight in between it to keep him ticking over?
Well, you know, Tyson may want that, and we'll see. I spoke with him this morning, we'll see. But AJ, you know, that's been the hold-up. He wanted to fight back. As you know, he fought Jake Paul.
This proposed date has raised new questions because Joshua would have very little time to recover after fighting Kristian Prenga before facing Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury has a fight, believe it or not, and his next fight is not going to be against Anthony Joshua. For some reason, he needs another tune-up fight after the Makhmudov fight back in April. You remember that? Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It was just announced that it's going to be Tyson Fury against, wait for it, Marius Walk. Now, this poster that was released is one that has a Netflix logo bottom left, but as our guy Darshan reports, and I've confirmed as well, this will not air on Netflix. Not sure why it's there. Now, also worth noting, this fight is happening July 24th in Thailand. Now, July 24th...
In a surprising move, Tyson Fury is taking another warm-up fight after facing Arsenbek Makhmudov before finally meeting Anthony Joshua. Fury will first fight another opponent. Ariel Helwani believes this unexpected decision could change the entire heavyweight schedule.
Dirt on the chest and the back. This is not, I mean, this is work or shoot. I think it's a shoot, to be honest. This is so weird. Anyway, this is he's fighting another. So we're getting, the nice thing about it is the fights line up. It's going to be Tyson on the 24th, and it's going to be, oh, they're going to be back-to-back, actually. 25th, right? AJ's the 25th against Kristian Prenga. So, at the very least, we can't say that the dates, the schedules, all that stuff and more do not line up. So there you have it. Tyson Fury has a fight. It's a weird one.
Elephant shit.
Some might call it that.
Ariel Helwani believes it is surprising that Fury is facing an opponent with such a limited record. However, he says the timing works perfectly because Joshua fights Kristian Prenga just one day after Fury faces Marius Walk, giving both fighters similar tune-up fights.
Almost had that fight won by knockout. It's heavyweight boxing. Ruiz is good. Everyone knows this. It can happen. Then he beats Ruiz in the rematch. And that may have changed his style a bit. He became a little bit safety first after that. Maybe it was a good idea for him in that point of his career. A knockout can devastate someone's confidence. Even the Dubois loss, he'd hurt Dubois. It was a competitive fight in which he was punting Dubois, who's a very athletic, big punching heavyweight. Once again, it can happen, and it did. I never viewed AJ as a long-term dominant champion. I viewed him more as maybe a better version in terms of his skill at heavyweight of an Arturo Gatti type. A guy who is going to be involved in a lot of big, thrilling heavyweight fights.
Some people may call it elephant__. Meanwhile, Joshua remains fully confident that he will defeat Kristian Prenga before challenging Tyson Fury. Although Max Kellerman does not see Joshua as a long-term dominant champion, he believes Joshua has looked extremely impressive in his recent victories.
So beautifully like an early Mike Tyson. I'm talking about 4 or 5, 6 punch combinations. Then once he got knocked out, he went a little bit more methodical and started boxing a little bit with his lead hand out, moving a bit. I don't mind how he fought Ruiz in a rematch. A man knock you out like that, embarrass you in your first time performing in front of America. The next fight, you go fix things.
And you shut him out.
And he adjusts.
And he basically shut him out.
I think he did Ruiz. Absolutely.
On the spectrum of Arturo Gatti to Miguel Cotto, meaning guys who are not the fastest, but are well-rounded enough fighters. People forget Gatti could box early in his career. And I don't mean to say Gatti's on the same level as Cotto. Cotto is the extreme excellence of this level, and Gatti is on the other end, although he was a very good fighter.
Malik Scott believes Anthony Joshua does not get enough credit. He says Joshua performed well throughout his career, and that people should stop focusing only on his loss to Andy Ruiz, especially since Joshua won the rematch in convincing fashion.
The guy Joey Dueco, who's a tough guy, can be slick at times, and he was able to beat Joey Dueco. Now, do he have anything extremely on his resume like AJ did? No, you can't compare that at all. But like Max said, what you can do is compare. We have a big man that knows how to throw a right hand, and guess what, Max? He have nothing to lose. And if this moment don't get to him, because he's never been on a stage like this, we could talk about techniques and what's his advantages, but the real thing is how is he going to react to this stage? AJ has been here so many times, and in this case, AJ has a bigger fish to fry, meaning Fury. So we're going to see how Prenga handle it. But he's a big guy with a good right hand. He has nothing to lose, and we've seen funnier things happening.
Many people believe Kristian Prenga will not be a serious challenge for Joshua. Malik Scott says that while Prenga has power, his experience and achievements are nowhere near Joshua's level, making him a favorable opponent before the Tyson Fury fight.
It's a complete mismatch. As far as experience goes, as far as it's everything. This is another charity case. Netflix, y'all got to do better, man. Y'all can't be letting these promoters bully y'all, man, into giving y'all this type of shit. It's trash. It really is. Y'all did that with Fury. Fury is supposed to, y'all paid for a body, and y'all didn't get it. At least Anthony Joshua, over the last couple of charity cases he didn't have, there's another one. Jake Paul was a charity case. Who else? Ngannou was a charity case. This one for sure is a charity case. And the crazy thing is another kickboxer.
The Anthony Joshua versus Kristian Prenga fight has received heavy criticism. Former champion Tim Bradley believes it is a complete mismatch and compares it to previous showcase fights, saying these types of events hurt the sport.
I hope AJ don't fall into this, man. I thought AJ was gonna fall into when he fought against Jake Paul, and he didn't. He came in, he wiped that man out. He wiped him out. He followed the script until he didn't. He followed the script until he didn't. But I expect AJ to go in there and do the same thing. Yeah, we want a body, AJ. Yeah, for sure. And if you don't, it's not gonna make the Fury fight any more better. It's not gonna make it any more better. Because Fury was supposed to give us that, and he didn't give us that. And then if you go in there and you lay an egg, and you don't give us what we're supposed to get, I don't really care about the Fury fight, to be honest with you.
Tim Bradley warns Joshua not to overlook Kristian Prenga, because one mistake could ruin the long-awaited Fury fight. He also says Joshua must deliver an impressive performance to rebuild excitement for the biggest fight in boxing.
AJ, all you gotta do is take it to him. That's it. Avoid getting hit with a big shot. You know, got a good right hand. All you gotta do is take it to him. You know, this guy right here, he's tough, but he's soft at the same time. He's tough, but he's soft at the same time. So, like, if you start to put the pressure on him, he ain't never been at that level, and you start hitting him hard, and you bag him in the corner, he gonna tuck up in that high guard, that dummy defense, and he just gonna take it. That's it. Oh, he gonna try to come back, but again, you got too much experience, AJ. You got too much understanding of boxing, bro. You know, don't get reckless, because he does got pop. But just take it to him, bro, and it should be easy. Easy work.
Even though Tim Bradley has criticized Joshua in the past, he now believes Joshua has a great opportunity to silence his critics by beating Prenga in convincing fashion, while avoiding unnecessary risks.
Which of them do you think will win?
Well, again, at this level, I think it's very close. Everybody can win. And then it depends on how the fight goes. I think if it's going to be like go to decision, I give the decision. I will pick Fury if this fight go to decision. And then if it's like a knockout, I think Joshua has a chance early in the round, but as far as the fight goes, it's gonna be way off on the Fury favor.
Okay, well, we will see. But in the meantime, we're looking forward to seeing you back.
Fans continue to question why both Joshua and Fury need tune-up fights at this stage of their careers. As the debate grows, Francis Ngannou shares his thoughts after having fought both heavyweight stars.
I think he's gonna cancel the fight. It's not gonna happen.
Because you're
I'm gonna win July 25th.
Yeah. Do you feel like, is there a mentality from you where you don't want to show respect to Joshua? Obviously, he's done a lot, but is there in the ring there's no respect for AJ? Would you say? Yeah.
No, never respect in the ring. I don't respect nobody in the ring. I respect him. He's a great fighter, but not in the ring.
What did you make of his fight against Jake Paul?
It's money.
Joshua says he plans a break and hurt Kristian Prenga, while Prenga is determined to ruin the planned Joshua versus Fury showdown. He believes he will defeat Joshua and stop the fight from ever happening.
It's money fight.
Did you see things to expose in there from AJ?
Yeah, a lot.
How does it end on July 25th in your eyes?
It's not gonna go 10 rounds.
Although Prenga dismissed Joshua's fight with Jake Paul as only a money fight, he believes he has identified weaknesses in Joshua's style. Confident in his own abilities, Prenga predicts he will stop Joshua before the final bell.
How do you see Fury and AJ going?
I still don't think it'll happen.
Do you not?
No. I just don't think we'll see it.
So much money.
Some will happen. One of them will get beat, if that's what it comes down to. I just don't think it'll happen. I just think I would still like to see it. I still think it's the biggest fight in British boxing history.
If it does happen, who wins?
Who do I think wins? I think at this point, Anthony Joshua's got the better chances he's ever had. I don't know. Tyson Fury's got to keep away from him for 12 rounds. You've got to not get hit in 12 rounds. And that's a long time. But I made Fury a massive favourite 5 or 6 years ago, but now, not so much. Because you've got to keep away for 12 rounds, and that's going to be harder to do now than ever.
I just need to see what Josh gets in the ring, even though it's Prenga and we all think he's going to knock.
Despite growing excitement about Joshua versus Fury, there's still major doubts that the fight will actually happen. Dave Allen believes unexpected events during the warm-up fights could change everything.
Stepping into the discussion, Tony Bello highlights a very important factor behind the matchmaking of Prenga versus Joshua. In his view, until and unless Joshua finishes this fight with Prenga, it is not that easy to make a prediction for him versus Fury. He believes the real reason behind the making of this fight is Joshua trying to show his training team how much he has left and how much longer he can go.
Tony Bello believed Joshua must first get through Kristian Prenga before anyone can properly judge his chances against Tyson Fury. He says this fight is mainly about seeing how much Joshua still has left after a full training camp.
I think I need to see, because I want to see him go through a camp. The only reason this fight's happening is because AJ needs to show his team what happens through a 12-week camp, and don't bring up Jake Paul because, come on, I mean, that wasn't a camp, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just that's not a camp. That's a. He turned up at the circus and he dealt with the clown. So that's a whole different ball game. But this one, he's got a proper training camp, 12 weeks in camp, whatever have you. It lets his team know exactly where we're at and what we're dealing with. That's why this fight's happening in my opinion.
Dave Allen and Tony Bello both expect Joshua to defeat Kristian Prenga comfortably. They believe the fight will likely end in the opening rounds, with Joshua scoring a quick stoppage.
The fight. I asked to box Prenga last October. I got Matt Malov instead.
That was a bit of a change, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wish I watched Prenga.
I bet you do.
I was matching myself at the time. I said to Ed, can I watch Prenga? He said, probably not. So I would think it's probably a safe match for Joshua. But I think this is what he needs. Like I say, training camp is what he needs more than the fight. He's got a lot of experience. I don't think he needs necessarily more fights. But I think Joshua wins inside 2.
I agree. I think this fight's going to be over pretty quickly and pretty brutally. Prenga, while he can punch, I don't think he has very much going forward. He's going to be going backwards, and I just think AJ lands pretty quickly.
Joshua remains confident that he can become the undisputed heavyweight champion. Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn questions why Tyson Fury still needs another warm-up fight after already completing a full 12-round contest.
Years and years, we tried to work Tyson Fury out and try and predict what he's going to do. You can't control him. So he's going to do what he's going to do. And if he feels like he needs a good fight, I like that, because what that's telling me is he ain't quite sure of himself. Because he did 12 good rounds with Mahmoudov, right? To a point where do you really need more rounds?
That's what the fans will say. Does he need one more? Because it inserts that jeopardy that it could go wrong.
Yeah, and he said to us, oh, you don't need another fight. We had 4 rounds with Jake Paul. I mean, in 2 years of boxing. Like, come on, you had 12 rounds with Mahmoudov at Tottenham. But you still feel like you need more rounds to prepare yourself for Anthony Joshua. But let me tell you something now. More rounds ain't going to help.
The biggest question now is whether Anthony Joshua will take control of the heavyweight division or whether everything will change once again. Viewers are encouraged to share their predictions and stay tuned for more boxing updates.